Wednesday night fights in Augusta, Georgia. We continue the action with 4 rounds between Ira Terry and a very interesting story in Randy Dodds. Ira Terry is 15-0. He's 20 years old, 5'6", 132 pounds, and soon expected to be 16-0. That is because he's fighting Randy Dodds, who's 6-20. Started off his career in 2002 with 3 straight knockout losses. Is coming off of a knockout loss, and I will let Teddy go into the details of the circumstances which have put him into this fight. They are scheduled for 4, and Brian Stutz is the referee.
Boxers, you receive the instructions in the dressing room. I want you to obey my commands at all times. Touch glove, let's get it on.
Well, first of all, Dodds, he's lost 8 of his last 10, knocked out his last fight. He's been knocked out 10 times. Took the fight on short notice. As you would expect, he came in 5 pounds over the contracted weight, but Terry's people said that's no problem. We have enough advantages. We'll give up the 5 pounds. We don't care about that. You know, you wonder when you look at the record of Dodds, and I don't want to knock any fighter, but you wonder why he continues fighting. And the question I ask, that is his prerogative, but a commission is in place for a reason, to make sure that proper fights are taking place. Why is the commission allowing this match? Now, I don't know how good Terry is. I know he's fought all his fights in Tennessee, North Carolina, Mississippi, and South Carolina, soft commission areas where you can build up a record. I understand that. But I do know how poor Dodds is. And again, when you have a commission, you have a responsibility when you have a commission. A responsibility to make appropriate matches. And I don't think this was an appropriate match to be made, quite honestly, with the 15-0 Terry and the 6-20, soon to be 21, maybe, Dodds. Although Dodds showing some heart right here.
After absorbing very solid headshots in the middle goings of this first round from Ira Terry.
Dodds, as you can see, that's a slip there. As you see Terry really loading up with his shots. And you can see Dodds is of the southpaw persuasion.
Ira Terry in against Randy Dodds. For most of the past 2 weeks, he thought he was fighting a guy named Michael Dobbs. You can't make this stuff up. It's only in boxing. It was a misunderstanding between the matchmaker and the promoter. Michael Dobbs is a fighter out of Oklahoma, but Randy Dodds signed the contract to fight. He was under the understanding he was having to fight. Everybody was in the know between Dodds, his corner, and the matchmaker, except for Terry and the promoter. Everybody found out yesterday, welcome to Randy Dodds instead of Michael Dobbs. Once again, only in the world of undercard swing bouts in this sport.
And right now, no damage being done to Dobbs, even though there was a lot of damage done early on. And for one reason, I think it's because Terry spent himself a little bit and he just left him alone. Now he's having another go at Dodds. So far, the only way that Dodds has fared well is when Terry has taken a rest.
Unbeaten Ira Terry with a quick start here against Randy Dodds. End of 1. National. We are in downtown Augusta at the Bell Auditorium. It has been a very interesting night of Wednesday night fights. Augusta's own Ray Winfield had a TKO win to move to 18-0. But Leon Bobo in the main event could not stay unbeaten as the veteran Antonio Davis knocked him out as Bobo did not answer the bell for the 6th round. Now, Ira Terry at 15-0 in much easier than the first two unbeatens were, taking on Randy Dodds. Terry, the 20-year-old from Memphis, Tennessee, is in the black trunks with the gray trim.
Right now, you don't need a fight plan to call the Terry fight. It's not a matter of what he can do. It's just a matter of what he wants to do and when he wants to do it. When does he want to attack? And right there, he attacked for a moment. If he's ambitious, he gets rid of Dodds. If he's not ambitious, well, he gives Dodds the best break that Dodds can get. Nobody's throwing at him.
Terry being very patient here. Dodds tosses out that right jab. Terry tries to come back with a counter right.
One thing that is proof that this game is a psychological game, bad psychologically and good psychologically, depending on what side of the fence that you happen to be on. Terry, a moment ago, he gets inside with Dodds, no resistance off it, and then Terry goes out. You have to ask the question, why would you go out? Why would you not just stay inside as he is right now?
Must have figured it out after that first instance of wasting that opportunity.
And again, that's not physical, because obviously you can see physically Terry has no problem doing well on the inside. That is mental, that you do not make yourself stay inside. You do not understand or want to understand that's the place you need to be.
Dodds and the unbeaten Ira Terry coming to the end of round number 2. To be happy about tonight. Big crowd here for Wednesday night fights at the Bell Auditorium. They saw their local favorite, Ray Whitfield, with a TKO win. He is now 18-0. Wrapping up the evening here, round number 3 of our scheduled 4-round bout here between Ira Terry. He has the gray trim on those black trunks, 20 years old. He's already run his record to 15-0 against limited competition in the South. Most of his fights taking place in Tennessee and Mississippi. He is from Memphis, where in recent years the fight scene has grown.
I criticized early on the commission allowing this matchup. It has not been competitive, but it has not been a disaster yet for Dodds, only because Terry, who's been fed a lot of soft opposition in that 15-0 record, has declined to do a lot of that attack. When he has dominated.
3 straight right hands from Ira Terry score against Dodds.
And one of the reasons why I criticize this fight, besides the obvious that it's a mismatch when you look at the records, the others, a fight off television earlier tonight, Joe, had a 3-0 fighter with a 1-5 fighter, and the 1-5 fighter had been knocked out all 5 of those losses, all in the first round. I didn't understand why that match was made. It was not on television, which is a good thing, but it still resulted in Leo Hayes, the 1-5 fighter who'd been knocked out 5 times, in getting knocked out again in a matter of seconds in the first round.
There were many who thought that we wouldn't see the swing fights, the undercard fights tonight, with Ray Whitfield against Jimenez and then Antonio Davis against the slick and speedy Leon Bobo. But the co-feature and feature bout tonight only totaled up to 7 rounds. So thus we get you this bonus coverage of the swing bouts.
You know, even though Terry's an orthodox fighter, where usually that means the left hand is the hand that you use the most to set up the backhand, the power hand, the right hand. Terry more comfortable You see it right there. He keeps the left hand out of play, and he likes to use that hand, the backhand, the power hand, most of the time.
Good example of it there as he tried to chase back Randy Dodds.
That means Dodds, if he had any inclination to do some pugilism instead of pacifism, he would have a big advantage knowing only right hands are really coming. He doesn't have to worry about that left hand. He could use his jab to control things. But when you're 6 and 20, you don't control much.
Not much at all. 1 to go.
Verizon Wireless speed.
Joe Tessitore and Teddy Atlas with you ringside for Wednesday night fights. Antonio Davis able to defeat Leon Bobo earlier tonight. Ray Whitfield moved his record to 19-0. And now Ira Terry here at 15-0 in the black trunks with the gray trim. Not really an inspired outing against the seemingly overmatched Randy Dodds in the solid black trunks. Terry somewhat hesitant. There's that right hand that he favors. Teddy noted that earlier tonight.
Just the opposite of what you usually get when you watch, again, an orthodox fighter. The left hand's supposed to be the setup hand. The setup hand and the delivery hand seems to be the right hand for Terry. And again, with no left hand, you would usually want the opponent to then take charge a little bit. In this case, Dodds, to start using that southpaw jab and dominate that side, knowing that there's no jab coming at him for the most part. But when you're 6 and 20, as we've said, you don't dominate in too many places. I think one of the questions has to also be asked is, how is Terry going to be served? If you want to keep fighting soft opposition, make your record 100-0, okay. But how are you going to be served by fighting that kind of competition when sooner or later the day is going to come, the day of reckoning is going to come, when you have to be able to perform against a good fighter? And some people could argue that that example was really evident in our main event with Leon Bobo.
Yeah,
you could argue that. I mean, he's had fought a lot of soft opposition. Finally stepped up with a guy who had been in with good opposition, who had been asked questions that fighters need to be asked in a pro career, Antonio Davis. And Bobo was not prepared, definitely not mentally in his mind, to deal with that kind of fight.
You know, Teddy, and I know it does happen often in the sport, but in hindsight's 2020, but looking back, that really maybe was just not a good spot for Leon Bobo, going right from that level of competition at 8 rounds to Antonio Davis, who's been in with top competition at 12 rounds.
Well, that's exactly what I'm hoping I just said.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree, obviously. And where it really hurt him was what you touched on. He went where he'd never been past 8. Now he was going 12 with a guy who'd been 12 3 times. And when the going was tough early on, you know, there was no reprieve in sight. In his mind, he was saying, it's only going to get worse. Now I'm going into uncharted waters. I got to go 12 rounds of this. And he could not tolerate that in his mind.
Surprised that we just got 4 rounds of that between Terry and Dodds. We want to remind you we have a very strong main event coming up on Friday Night Fights at 9 o'clock from Montreal. Jean Pascal, the undefeated, super athletic fighter from Montreal, taking on Kingsley Akiki, who has fought for a middleweight championship and now looks to contend at 168 pounds. Jean Pascal is a guy that's impressed us before, Teddy.
Yeah, he has. He impressed me with his pure ability, his athleticism. Very fast hands, you know. He's got good size. He's got a good physique. He's a guy that has really good timing, good skills. But his technique has to catch up to those skills a little bit. And he has been a guy who's been fed a lot of popcorn so far in his career. Well, he's not getting popcorn on Friday. He's getting maybe, I don't know if it's a sirloin steak, but he's getting some meat, some whole food, because he is stepping up in competition against a guy who just fought for the world title. Yes, a guy who lost and got stopped for that world title, but he's stepping up in competition against Aikiki.
Yeah, and Aikiki is so tall, and he's got that leverage. He can generate a lot of power, so that's coming up on Friday Night Fights from Montreal. Let's get the decision of this 4-round fight. We send it up to the ring to J.D. Lyons.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of boxing, we go to the scorecards, and we have a unanimous decision. All 3 judges, Ed Kenner, Erwin Deutsch, and Nola Oliver, all 3 scoring the bout exactly the same at 40-36. All 3 for your winner by unanimous decision, Ira Mr. Showtime Terry.
Ira Terry, 16-0. We thank you for being with us. For Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore.